All right, everybody, here we go. How you doing? It is a bloody hot day in Alaska. What does that mean? It is 80 degrees in this room. The mule is going to cough up something, a hairball at least. How are you all doing? This is D for Play. I forgot my coffee. We'll get that in a second. We are celebrating. Celebrating. What do we have to celebrate? What are you talking about? Well, this might not seem very large to most people. Hello. Get the bright on the screen here. Come on, give me some bright. Forget it. We'll turn off the light in a minute. But you'll see things are a little bit slower. I think they've slowed things down to remedy things. I'll mention one thing I've noticed in a moment. But, alright, for anybody in the know, how many players? 800 players? Up to close to 1,000. Someone announced in Discord that it was sad that during the first week of the trial that we have, this trial's running, you get a 7-day trial. At the end of that, you decide whether you want to pay for the base game. You've already gotten a free plot. You get that for the next 23 days, and you get to earn grace through awards, which I will show you here. We're going to cover that. And this is also for those who are thinking about putting up a character on another server and haven't quite seen the details, or maybe not have noticed some things, or don't notice things I have not. Now, Catnap here, put it back on the high and dry. Catnap here started out with the Homesteader rank. I'll tell you what. Now, you're not supposed to be able to destroy objects around you, which I had Garadina come and promote him. Right? The crafting benches weren't locked, but I couldn't help with the coal. It was locked, and still is. Which, well, let's check this. Let's see, make sure things have jumped forward. So, members, I'm still considered a villager. I updated. Why didn't it update? So it didn't update. Let's do that. We're gonna do that. I had Garrett D in it do it, so let's do it. Well, I didn't want to do it right now. You were promoted to villager. So do villagers not get... We'll check the redeeming queue later. That's something else. So when you're a homesteader, you don't get permissions to do things to help out. And you can get on this stuff, and you can get into storage. You just can't... You can only use what's been made. Interesting. I had Garadina jump on and promote Catnap from Homesteader, which all these permissions were the same. They were all the same. Now, something to consider, shared with clan. I'm in the clan, so that's pretty interesting. Darn, you know, because that's the experiment. What the heck happened? Just a villager, alderman, what do you have between them? Elder and stuff like that? Do I have a chest? No, I don't. I think the one I had, Garantina destroyed, and because she had to move it. Which is a funny thing about storage, is that they change possessions, so to speak. They change whose storage it is when you move it. Well, what else? If you have a stack of them, how can you keep track? So it's just something. It's just something. If one of your characters or a clan's member moves your stuff, if you thought it was cool to have your name on it, well, now it's gone. So, doing the extraordinary things we do, and since I can replace wood, I will. I'm making my way over to the Petra May. Why? Because it's very interesting. One thing that's very interesting about it, I can prove it. I opened my redeeming queue. You need to be at your plot or Petra Dei to be able to access, I thought it was May, but local Petra Day, I guess, to be able to access the redeeming queue. Petra May being your home. Here, that being where you could travel. These being Petra Days. That's what I thought. Junebug came online. My daughter's a Junebug. She was born in June. The chat, if you haven't covered that with me, it's not counterintuitive. You will never see anybody go offline. It's the Hotel California, which is funny. Discord is a California-based thing, so of course you could face hate crimes and stuff like that due to California law when you use Discord. Make sure you know that. Well, no, you get banned on many different channels. Google is a California-based operation, Alphabet. Whether they still are headquartered there and all that, I don't know. They moved a lot of their stuff to Kansas to get a lot closer to the stock exchange and the majority. Well, okay, half the American population is on a line that goes north to south, and it's only a few miles inland of Virginia. And they're like, what? It used to be 5, now it might be 10 miles inland. Maybe it's 20. Maybe it's 20. Ooh, maybe 100 miles inland of Virginia. I don't know. I'd have to check. But 1/2 of the United States population is on the west side of that line, and the other half, of course, is on the eastern seaboard. So, cataclysmic when they think about hurricanes going up there. Was it Harvey or Harold? I cannot remember, who was in chat suggesting, oh man, I hope that hurricane has nothing to do with me. I'm like, oh, where's the hurricane right now? And when it hit landfall and where was it? But they were thinking about Virginia, I think. I'll have to check. Because with Louisiana also, which is of course a totally different place on our the Gulf of America. That could be considered hate speech in California. AI can say words we can't. It can explain things in words that we're no longer allowed to use. Isn't that peculiar? AI is artificial. It's just repeating what we say. In fact, there's a bunch of people in India and Madagascar, you need to look that up, that are telling AI what is even in front of its eyes. When we say, make me a picture. And someone was discussing that. Lowercase art and capital A, uppercase art, when it comes to what it is. And well, in my professional, not opinion, but I would consult you to think that it is up to the people viewing it to decide whether it is lowercase or uppercase art. Now there are those who go like, no. You need to go through the rigors of the discipline of studying how to properly use the materials and apply, and all the things that come with a master's in art, which is a real thing. It is a real thing. Those people have a lot more control and a lot more rigor put into a lot of different styles. They're forced to do many different things instead of just going, no, I want to be a finger painter. They're like, no, okay, well, that's fine. You can be a finger painter, but to get through courses in art, and be actually considered an artist. Because, yeah, you could have nice doodles and everything, but no one will treat you with any respect at all until you can show off that piece of paper. Only 1% of people who call themselves artists, 1%. And it's not really 1%. But that's just as close as you can get. That's as low as they feel like going. Make any profit being an artist. And they are capital A artists. Most artists make a profit after they're dead. And other people saying, oh, look, they're dead. There's not going to be any more. And then they're worth money. So anyway, lovely subject. It's kind of like gaming software. We have a lot of masterpieces in the past, and people still play them. Right? Right? But you never know what you get. You see, the Mona Lisa was painted over years. Da Vinci's story, right? If you look up a merchant's daughter, rich Phoenician merchant's daughter, or something like that, and painted over years. So it's like the upper part of her face did not match the lower part of the face. And I think the original deal was he was the last daughter of the merchant. The merchant was like, my lovely daughter, get her married, capture her beauty, whatever else. But she aged over time, and she was not an unattractive woman for the days, or probably for these days. But the lower part of her face was taken, perhaps even nearly a decade after the upper part of her face. So whether she's smiling or she has a smirk about Da Vinci, who's like, oh, you look as beautiful as you did 10 years ago, or something, explaining away. She's like, okay, in 10 years, we had a pretty good. Go ahead, look up how long they lived back then, especially if you weren't subjected to all sorts of abuses. Which we are today. People are subject to abuse all over this planet. I don't care how poor I am in America, as long as I still am in America, I'm probably, I'm not allowed to live in a garbage dump. I could just take fentanyl and forget about my problems. That's, the horse tranks, everything going through. There seems to be enough effort to get rid of people. I'm not going to make any effort in getting rid of myself. But I do live with the realization that the vast majority of the world lives in worse conditions than I do. The vast majority. When I was a kid, the travel channels, went everywhere. Now YouTubers go to show you how bad things are, and the travel channels don't go anywhere anymore. Those YouTubers are brave. Some of those places. But the Australian guy who checks out cigarettes. Am I picking up rocks? This is chores. What you said, yeah. Okay, so this is actually Garrett Dina's leather, because I wore out my tunic, and I was, did I lose? No, I can't remember where it went. I think that's the case in point. I don't remember where it went, because from over in Reeds, which is, I want to make a point, over in Reeds, I pulled my plots that were here. I discontinued them, or I did, and I just did it quick. I did not wait for them to expire. I don't think I did them in Reeds, excuse me. I believe I had to do them while here, but I did it quickly, and because I didn't want them to renew, and they were set to renew at the time, and I said, get rid of them, instead of having kind of a lag mistake or something like that, which never happened. So the big deal being, is that it? I don't go there very often. Hello, boys. See you in a few minutes. Well, not a few minutes, but soon. Soon enough. Gotta get the level 1s, start working them. So you've been on Pax Day for 7 days, and if you checked in every day now, you have 140 grace. No, is it 10? Oh no, it's only 10. You have 70. But if you've gotten 20 gold for each day within those 7, somehow go out and beat a level 1 with a sharp pointy stick and a wood shield and your linen clothes. I don't know, maybe you got a set of armor your first day and you met some people, and you got to do something, and even though you felt like you were on death's door the whole time, they helped you through, and now you have a little bit of gold, and you're like, what can I do with it? And maybe you have some grace saved up. You've also had something else happening, and that's these achievements, and if you've been claiming them all along, maybe you haven't noticed how they've accumulated, or you have, depending on how many you've opened. If you're only active in certain areas, you might not notice. So, as I walk over here, our Petra May. Isn't it the Petra May? Let's look again. It's so unimportant to me. When it comes right down to it, these steps match like crazy. The Petra May. Not to be seen, it's called a Petra Day here. The Petra Day were created at the dawn of the Golden Age during the reign of Pappus Melephanius. It is Pappus Melephanius, but it's a lowercase p, so it kind of struck me. In order to project the power and the command of the Axis Mundi. Even today, no pause there. Well, no, there is. No, is there a... There seems to be a period. Even today, a full century after the papacy came to an end, it came to an end? These stones still project the Pax Dei and ward against evil. The peace of God. Not the Pax of Deis, the peace of gods. It's just a singular. And it's not capital D-E-I. So, I just want that to be known. Now, what are the other ones called? Aren't they called Petromaze? I thought it was funny. I came up behind this and I was like, there's nothing. Got to be on the right side. So, the point is, if there ever is one in Pax Dei, which is nice because Pax Dei doesn't have a point. Ooh, nice. It resorted it a little. Look at all this inventory I have. Why don't you pull it all out? It's claim item at Petra Dei in Sif RP reads. Different place. All this stuff is a different place. Oh, well, that sucks. Well, there's something very interesting. I don't think it sucks either. The achievements, though. I've only been here playing as Catnap for 4 hours maybe. Not long at all. But all these achievements I got for my higher level character, and a couple things that I think I've done here already, I have now gotten all these rewards. Well, look, at 280 grace, just from being around since I started, right? Since I started in Selene, which wasn't very long ago, as you can tell by what Gerardina and Catnap have done. I started with a couple pieces of land over there, and I decided, I'm actually going to reduce my footprint in Pax Dei. Get more done, and, just... because I just had too many plots. And the construction pieces have slowed. And the reason I really don't build much... Well, have you seen the construction issues we've had? We've had some collapses, some physics changes, and some people, have even had their, 5.6 was, I'm going to call it inaccurately, just the culmination of the two Unreal Engine 1 for Fortnite. There you go, there's a person. Hello. Got away from a distance because they got a bow. They're gonna kick my ass. Hey, hey Midho, how you doing? Checking out the birds and all that stuff. I think I saw them begin. I said hi ho, Midho. I hope that wasn't taken wrong. Why would it be? I can't use any of this stuff on my second level. Okay, so that's different, I guess. Or okay, no, Villager didn't have permissions before, but I thought the big deal with the homesteaders, they could not deconstruct anything for 36 hours. No, there was also something else they mentioned which I need to look up, which was anything not recent. They couldn't destroy anything that had been in place, previous to them in some form. Of a limited amount of time. That only current items, like they had built. But, instead they just kind of did that pragmatic thing again, maybe. So, trying to look at the details, but it was perplexing. Coming from Homesteader, being, with Gerardina, promoted to Villager, but then I couldn't use the furnaces or the kilns. That is the same through both ranks. So, what I need to do is figure out what's the chart. There's got to be a chart of, where you check things off, where you have like 3 different versions of an item, and it's telling you, well, this one, has recharging, or these 2 have recharging, and this one doesn't. And out of the 2 that have recharging, one has a high definition screen and one doesn't. You get these kind of comparisons, and that's what it seems to be, going on with this guild ranking. Why was it even changed? Well, we had Villager before. We did. Oh, that's right. There's a bunch of 10 over here. We had Villager before. I do have room. Well, I can still get it. And I would at this point say, okay, well, we might want to list of what villager permission is, and what it means, because homesteader. All right, so I said, okay, I don't have any permission for the kilns and the furnace, and then I moved up to villager, and I still don't have any permissions on that. But I guess I have permissions to now deconstruct everything as a villager. So that's what homesteader was supposed to alleviate. So that must have been the only difference, is that now I'm allowed to construct and deconstruct, and I can be entrusted not to take apart everybody's stuff. Is that what we've reached here? Is that the big deal? So interesting to me. Interesting to me. It seems like to me I might log in and out again, just up his rank again, or I could do something else I planned to do, which was lay down a grace plot. Well, you don't have enough grace. I have all those achievements. How did I get those achievements? Being a starting character. Well, something that a lot of people probably found undesirable, but I don't find so bad in my position, is that, well, since, yes, Catnap on Sif is a much higher level character. Of course, Catnap in Arcadia, the public test server, is a higher level character than that, up in the 20s on average, if not all. Friendly Fire is offering castle tours for anyone interested in checking out our place south of Volvestre Shrine. Come and take a look around, see the available living quarters for those who do not have land, and hang out for a bit if you'd like. New players are welcome. The Monk came online right after that. Mason Fire sent that. You could direct message Mason Fire. You could also write Mason Fire into the chat under direct message. Direct message, I could just say Mason Fire. Do I have to spell it all? It's going to suggest anything. So yeah, you can do Mason Fire, and you can set that up, and now you have a direct message to Mason Fire. You can say, hey, where is that? Because Volvestre is on Ancien, which is where we are. Right there. Volvestre was added back between verse 1 and verse 2 when they changed the map and changed the water. A lot of these waterways did not connect. Now they connect. We had hopes. Because water connections might mean something. But they turned off the water in verse 1. It wasn't going anywhere anyway. But they turned off the water effects. I try to remember them, what I could see in verse 1, but we stayed out of water. It killed you. And so you didn't get much time to look at the effects or understand how many you were enjoying. But Volvestre is right here. We're right here in Tolosa. Hama. There. Flint Rock. I get experience for making wood arrows again. I am so thrilled. It is actually thrilling. How could you be thrilled? Well, okay. They never reduced our slots. I thought they were going to reduce our alternate character slots. Because now, do I have 10? Well, look, I'll be swapping over to Garrettina in a minute. Because that's the way technology works. That's the way it works. It's a big deal. Do I play two people at once? Craft and wander around? No, I don't do that. I don't do that. But just for fun and entertainment, while recording and things like that, I would like to do some of that. And I have a good bit rate in the house, so that shouldn't be a problem. And I need to get my other PC up and running. Well, it is kind of running. It was just not running what I wanted. And I need to see if that has changed. Otherwise, it's a very fine PC. I have no use for it besides playing Pax Dei. So I have no use for it until that is what I'm doing. Adrenaline was not recording on the 7900 card. And so I had to explore other recording software that Running up that hill, no problem. Lowercase art and uppercase art. So why do they call something the art that your art isn't? You know, maybe some listening remember when all the internet art first came out. All the troll figures are just hand-drawn mouse things, and they're very badly drawn. But that's not a point. It's not even a point at all. You gotta get stone, man. Everybody must gather stone. But there's just it was just junk art. The thing is, some of it people connected with. The dancing banana, the redheaded guy with braces and the t-shirt. People even want to know what happened to that person. They were wondering, hey, what happened to that person? And you can find out on YouTube where all these original pictures went that people just had, they just had a connection with. Charles Dawkins talked about this in The Guilty Gene, and it's not mnemonics. Mnemonics is like Every Good Boy Loves Fudge and stuff like that for your musical notes. And there's other things for math. I forgot them all. I'm no good with mnemonics. But he calls it something different, and they get the term meme from it. They get it from him. And, well, okay, that's what... Go ahead. Check it out. I'm not a Dawkins fan. I think the guy is just... He debated people that I just watch people, kick his butt all the time in debate, who I subscribe to. So... because the guy was just a poor loser, really. Oh, God could be the spaghetti god equally well. And that makes sense, because spaghetti god is a perfectly valid way to look at God. In fact, all the gods we make up on the planet, 5 of them are spaghetti gods, of course, because that's a natural conclusion we'd have. No. And that was just, but that's what liberals do. They state the ridiculous, and they ask you to defend yourself against the ridiculous, which is always a maneuver of theirs. It's just the way it is. Dozer, it's a public market, and it's a dozer mart. That's pretty wild, isn't it? That's a lot of things posted. I think you can only post so much. Right. Oh, one thing I want to point out with your inventory. If you haven't noticed it about the inventory queue, as I just showed off a moment ago, 40 out of 40. As you can see, oh, that's interesting. There's a little brighter one there. Interesting. You can't go right to them, which would be pretty cool. Some of these are stone, right? There's little ones here. So there's stacks of ones, but not in each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, kind of 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many ones do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence. 7, 8. Just for these other low ones. Maybe those are them. Maybe those are them. Because these are stacks. You can only have so many stacks. You're limited on what you can have. How many stacks are there? There's not 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Blizzard Stone's easy to find again. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Another couple. 26, 27. Might have missed one. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. So more than 40. So some of these stacks, maybe 1,000, maybe 1,000 of something. Or what I'm trying to think of is there's certain things that only stack singly in your inventory. This is not one of them. Meat chunks in inventory, 0. In my inventory, right? I apparently have magnetite in my inventory. Probably from the tin I got earlier. So there's a lot more than that. But when you get something like sapwood, does that take up a whole one? Oh, look. This is interesting. Okay, I'm starting to see something going on here. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, right. They give me a little blink there. We got a location joke going on. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, they gave us a cue before, but I don't remember originally them having any such thing as this. Tin ore, straw, which isn't highlighting up. No, that's never mind. Isn't highlighting up there. I wonder why the other ones try to highlight. Might discover some meaning to it. Very, very interesting. So, there's only so many stacks. There's only so many stacks you can hear. You got 40 out of 40. When you're full, you're full. Now, how do you know you have too much on your plots? That's interesting. That's interesting. Inventory capacity. Inventory capacity. Very interesting. So you can sort and filter and, of course, stuff like that. So, absolutely wonderful. Just in case you want to do that. Do I have any tools? Because once I build up storage, I am going to be... Yeah, construction hammer. That's beautiful. Take that stack. Well, okay. In REITs, I just closed down the blacksmithing shop. That's it. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now, we were saying there might have been 1,000, up to 1,000 people paying for, maybe 800, maybe 900. I'm not quite sure because it's an average. And the average you see in the nice bold amber line on Steam isn't the real number. No. The real number is the gray line that's below it. I don't know what kind of feel-good game they're playing with that, but that's what they're doing. Because the actual line is the gray number below it. So, yeah, not so great. But, hey, we're here playing Pax Dei, and we're wondering, why isn't anybody else? What is so terrible about Pax Dei that Steam only shows 800 people? I do not know how many people play on Game Pass, Game Pass and stuff like that. I do not know how many people play off, well, Epic Games. I own games on Epic Games. I just haven't played them in a long time. Everybody must gather stone. Really, even when you're an advanced character, grabbing stone as you pass it will just save you so much trouble. I mean, really, one stack of 100 just, dropped off when you get home. Well, that's one stack of something else I could have had. Right. There are people grinding stone into sand, for crying out loud. So apparently, and you keep needing it. You keep needing gneiss rock for all the way through your construction, as far as I can remember. And finally, I'm actually working my way back up again. I had no interest in that at first because we were going through all these first-time user experiences. We were going through all these early crafting restructurings. We were going through all these, what would be... Steve. What would be... There's an S there. I already knew that. Steve. I mean, it wasn't TV. Could have been TV. But it was Steve. Is Steve. Presently. Very nice. Improbable architecture, but that's Pax Dei. Anyway. Oh, look, some stone. Oh, I need to go out and get tin. Well, okay, not being able to get into the furnaces and all that, I can't get on the bench. I've got to get myself up out of the stone tools. It's very nice when you can work with somebody else because then you're not running around and gathering the materials yourself to make the tool benches. One problem with crafting benches and tool benches and not making the kits is they're often quite a gift of experience. So you might want to make those kits anyway as a good boost. They will be the first and second. In the case of armor and weaponsmith, you'll see them right on top there. And you'll be like, well, if I don't make these, I have to, the next thing's on hard. And so, you just make choices on that. But if you're already in a clan that already is giving you all these benches and everything else, Bob's your uncle. Voila. But you will miss the experience. So you might as well get it. I'm looking for sage. Have I gotten all the a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Picking that flax. Gotta be dressed. Bling bling. Could be my mother. Is that my mother on the phone? I'm not like Andrew Sumner, though. Well, no, that's Gordon Sumner, Andy Summers, and Stuart Copeland. Isn't it? No, it's from the White House. I guess they finished the White House Correspondents' Dinner without a shot going off. Very nice. Even, look, I don't want either side to get hurt. America used to be a different place. Now it's gotten rather extreme, and it is a communist operation to break down people's faith. People wanting to believe. It's all an operation. Well, it's the same one that they've done against Jerusalem, right? They don't attack Jerusalem every day. They just make people not want to live there, not want to raise children there, and all that. You know, that's how they do it. We could listen to them say that. You know, you can listen to them say it. I like how you can barely even see a hint. That will change. But you can barely even see a hint. It's very undisruptive. You're like, well, what about the people on the other side? Well, the people on the other side is one main builder who used to have a place up on the hill here. Maybe that's where they started before they went, I love this. They have like 50 some odd plots over there, folks. That's a lot. Yes, I got to put in some time on Selene. I got to get my characters up to, you know, fighting stuff. You know, be able to take out those level 1s as I saw. Be able to take out, well, level 2s. Okay, so you know, have a good time with that. Oh, darn it, the looms are locked. Oh, it's just a travesty. So we're gonna do it the other way. I could change over, yeah. Yeah, let's just get out of here and change over. Let me finish this. One thing nice, you know, even if I was in a clan, I just have to ask everybody, you know, what's this, what's that, what's this, what's that? And you could be like, well, what's wrong with that? It's time. And people aren't always into answering questions. And some people don't answer questions very well. So I try to learn the answer to things before I hear what people have to say. You can find out a lot about people when you do that. Bones. Make sewing needles. We're just going to stuff it all in here and make her regret locking me out. That's what's going to happen. Put everything else away. Then I'll be back. I'm not going to stick with Gardena because I do need to bring up Catnap in strength. And I need to bring them both up. If you want to go to a dungeon, what do you need to be? Well, Tier 3 is what you really need to be. You're like, Tier 3? What does that even mean? Well, you're a Tier 1. You know, we have light, medium, and heavy armor that we wear right now in our first levels at Tier 1. Of course, the ones with the 2 biome, that's Tier 2. Pretty much. It moves up, alright? You get iron, you get wrought iron, you know, after a couple sets of bronze. We can check that out. And have before. Gotta get some iron. You've always got a grocery list. Always have the grocery list. This should be empty, right? Yeah. Put the wood below. It's just more. Now with the graze plots, we'll be dealing with that. And have no fear. I mean, it's pretty inexpensive to just get plot tokens and not have that drama of coming on and trying to earn grace. What is that? When you earn grace, I have on a bonus program up here, so I get a 50% bonus, and I will until August 16th, wrapping up pretty soon. After that, every time I log in, I'll only get 10 grace. That means if I can go to a camp and earn 200, 400 gold, I can then get over here and buy grace at at 20 gold, and I will get 10 in that time. I'll get 10. So if I do that each time I log in for 20 days, and you're like, 20 days? Just an hour, do a bit of chores, do a bit of chopping. That's what I'm talking about. You just log in for a little bit. Well, that's what I do. I just log in for a little bit and get some rudimentary things done, plus to get some, pointed things done. And I go through the day. If I have longer, I spend longer, but it's not often I do. I heard someone talking, the guys who get the residual harvesters in Lioness. Those guys have always dropped a lot of gold, but I think they've choked it down a bit, where you're like 30 to 80 on those guys on gold. 30 to 80 gold, I know. They come out of Lioness and they're buying grace at 60 for 360. 60 for 360. You can buy it at 30, 45 for me, but 30 here at 90. So to go twice that, 90 into 36, 90, 180, 270, 360. So that's 4, right? So if I bought it at the lower, but the thing is, you can only get it every 24 hours. So maybe these people getting, 60 grace a pop, maybe they're not, I don't know. It just works for them because they have plenty of gold. I do not, so this works for me. I will be able to buy it, gain it, and earn it. Now, that's still not very easy. There's other things you want to do. You might want to get more gold and log in more days, because with 20 days you get 200, and if you buy 10, 10, you get 10, you only 5 from there, but 10, you're only going, in 20 days you have 400. So that's just simply what I mean. But you can find, well, man, that's a schedule to keep, isn't it? Well, right, you're correct. You're correct to go, can I come in every 20 days? Well, every month, pull off 20 days in this. Oh, no, it's the flaxseed. It's filled up. I forgot how much I need for linseed oil at first. That's the first thing we need it with. I think I'm going to dump it outside, or just stick it somewhere and irritate Gardena for not promoting. Well, she's you. Well, yeah, but I'm not a woman. So Gardena's Gardena. And Catnap's not me per se either. I don't imbibe myself on my avatars as me. They have their own ways of thinking, so to speak. I mean, not really, but you know what I mean? Locked. That means all these up here are locked. Dang it. Interesting. Exciting. Interesting, exciting. Exciting, interesting. So, I'm going to get over and get Gardena really quick. And then we're probably going to wrap this up for the night. Exit. Exit. It's the way out. Hey, wow. That's it. Yeah. Take risks. I don't recommend doing that. But I do it. I don't recommend it, though. Just saying. Waiting for Pax Dei to shut down. Now, I'll tell you, not many people will watch a 1-hour video. In fact, most people won't watch a 12-minute video. So, if you made it this far, thank you for your time. You probably did it while relaxing instead of sitting here intently watching what I'm doing. Pax Pax Dei is a meandering. Better take the caps off. Pax Dei is a meandering experience. You're not set against the clock. You're not set against a timer. You're not parallel playing, where you'll see other people, but yeah, you could join a guild and go run a dungeon. Well, you could do that here. In fact, you don't have to join the guild to run the dungeon, and you didn't have to then. So you can do the same things. You can do dungeon runs, which were a major attractor to a lot of adventure seekers. The thing is, with Pax Dei, you need skills to wear things. You can't just be given them. And a lot of people start out going, well, I don't see any description of who I am. Well, you're you. You're just you. Not just you. In fact, that's really great. You're you. Now, this has mostly been demonstrative, going around and showing out different examples. Usually when I play, when I show off the Discord, there, when I play, get down as small as possible. When we're highlighting a few things, and just, new glitches or anything like that, right? And here, just while talking to you, showing off things. Now, playing like this, the screen is a lot clearer to you. So I will often do that, period. Just depends on what I catch. So, Tolosa again. Now, something I'm interested in looking at again, now that I'm selecting promotions, do they actually describe to the clan owner, the guild owner? Peter used to talk about guilds all the time, and when it kicked off, see how things are slow they are on the textures. But not that slow. A little bit. Come on, you can do it. Focus. See how milky everything is? It'll snap in. I don't have the hottest system in the world. If you have a hot system, this probably should snap in quicker. Anyway. Oh. Members. So it doesn't really tell you. You can demote down to homesteader. I do not see a list of descriptions, right? You can write a biography. That's great. You don't see a list of descriptions as to what permissions will be allowed due to this promotion or demotion, right? If you're demoting somebody on purpose, like, well, I just don't want to give them that much. Well, there's villager, right? Select it again. Promote. Elder. So, are you telling me that I have to be an elder in order to use the furnace and kilns? I mean, I just showed you as villager I couldn't use them. And before, I could have shown you as, well, I believe in the film we recorded with Catnap before, I showed you that as a homesteader I couldn't do anything, right? So what's up with that? I mean, did I just see that accurately? I cannot use the furnaces or kilns unless I build them my darn self. Well, okay. But the thing is, I had permission to destroy stuff as a villager, just not as a homesteader. Alright. Oh, remove. Ooh, I hope it asks you twice. So, you can promote. And now, of course, you cannot promote anymore. You can make an alderman, where before I think you had to pretty much disband at that point. I don't know, because I wanted to switch aldermen before amongst my own characters. So there. Alright. Well, I'll tell you what, Garrett. Catnap has been promoted to elder. Now, when I look at here from before, you can see I've done these. Friendly Fire was up here, but before, I also had the thing. I just demoted Catnap to Homesteader. These only last so long. Maybe when I'm over with... No. Oh, this is this guy, Yendor. Got a fair bit of gold from that journey, close to 20k on my character, and I know I have 90k in a chest in my bedroom, lol. Wrong chat, sorry. Talking real life here, lol. Of course. Well, he already said, he already, it's funny. Light it to ask for money, they will. You gotta work hard for that money. Anyone need any leather? Everybody goes, well, I was the only one talking. Sorry, Endor. Line up to borrow money. It's just golden game. Some people have a lot of gold, and you can keep it in chests, so nobody can see it up in the corner up there. There's something else to do before I'm out, because I'll come back on with Catnap. I'm going up to Elder now. There's nothing really to show off. I'm going to figure out those settings a little bit better. It's a little bit flippy to go back and forth. I'm not into being flippy. Now, I don't have to have this land connected because I have a nice path. You know what I mean? You don't have to connect everything. You could be bloody irritating, right? You could just be dang irritating. And I need a lot of flax. I gotta have that flax, man. Orange skins, baby. Look up orange skins. We've heard it all before. That's why I'm not against new ideas. We just don't need any. We just really don't need any. Someone says millions of issues before we take care of trees. No, there's actually just dozens of issues, and getting rid of trees would help. Having maxes on your plot with how many objects you could have, even a large amount, would help. Because some people have a massive amount. Anyway, we have, what would you do with a drunken sailor building a boat in a small landlocked pond? Might be a cave hidden by magic when you drink enough rum. Not me, I don't drink. So, well, I get thirsty. I drink water, Kool-Aid, lots of coffee. I do enjoy beer with a steak. I just haven't had a steak in a while. So, I need to put a fridge. Where I'm going to put it, you see these people ducked out. And there's a path down to the water from there. What, are you going to spread out? No. There are other people who can show up. That is correct. I have my little peekaboo path. Quick swim and a leap. Zoom, zip, and I get up. Zoom, zip. Right. There's a little bit of trees, a little bit of construction. But why? Well, I like a water feature to build on. I like that kind of design. There's enough area here to do it right. Laughing lioness, no plotting, no plotting. Now, we can place a plot for Grace. Thing is, I got rid of my Grace plot in Arcadia. Am I going to stay in Arcadia? That's a good question. Man, these plots are so big. But I want it for a particular reason. Catnap is also going to be dropping a plot, which is very interesting to me when it comes to things. Where he's going to put is... It's fun running around with a construction hammer blue, blinding you to everything around you. I think there's enough room on this side to actually grab this. I mean, if I ever consolidated more, because once I'm off, you just can't get very close to the road. It's You've done this before. If you get on a hill, you will notice it slips very fast downward. But if you do it like that, it's quite a lot different. Very nice. And if you want to see it better, let's get it so it till it goes out. It's often easier to walk. Hi, bunny. Don't surf me, dude. Right? but not right to the road. You know what I mean? Very nice. Very nice. Going up the hill or something like that. See, there's Valerius. He's keeping the top of the hill. He's like, I can't get rid of it. I don't want it anyway. I don't like top of the hill. It's too far from the road. And I don't want to have enough plots to be like, here's my path. Now, that's number 49. And number 52 is over there. And I haven't counted them all. 52 is just the highest one I noticed. So, you know, some people are very serious. Some people are very serious about supporting Pax Dei, and I congratulate them. It's a fine decision. No, I do not want a down a cliff thing. I have no need to have on a hill stuff, but I do have fridge needs. Fridge needs. I'll be looking at that plot up there again with Garatina, and tearing down my castle walls a bit with her too, because that'll be a deal. Well, this is a bad example to show a person who only has one plot that now is 7 days in. Well, no. Realize, okay, maybe over 1,000 people play Pax Dei monthly. With the free trial, someone noted on Steam that we had an increase of 200 people, where we have just under 1,000, maybe 900, maybe even 800 on Steam. If 800, that means for the free trial, if 200 people in the last 7 days since the trial was introduced started playing Pax Dei just to see, well, that is a 1/4 increase. That is a 25% increase. Well, yeah, from 800. Well, yeah. Still, I mean, if we were at 8,000, it'd be 2,000. If we were at 80,000, it'd be 20,000. If we were at 800,000, it'd be 200,000. So, let's just, keep it in perspective. No, there's a lot of people who, there's over 150,000 owners, maybe 160,000 owners on Steam, and estimated from, purchase folks, maybe people return the game, but as far as purchases. So anyway, it's a beautiful game. A lot of people, there isn't much to do, but it's most likely because they're very used to being led around and being told what to do. And that's just, well, there you go. There you go. All right, we go back to the fun. Hey, it's fun to me. Why? Why is it fun to me? Because Garrett and I hang out and we do crazy stuff. We're crazy kids. No. It's mellow, it's calm, you build stuff, you pay for it, you pay for the storage, you get it. What is it, like a hobby shop? Don't be too hard on yourself. There's lots of people you can play with. You can figure out how to make things not do that. People walk by your place and go, man, you suck. And you're like, I want to quit. No, and then you go, well, I'm going to copy Oakberry or somebody. There's quite a few builders. I wish I could name a dozen of them. And I need to work on that. Because right now I can only... and there's another guy who was just on. And I was like, there's another one. It starts with a J. I'll get it. I'll have a whole list of them because there is. There's a whole list of them. What do you do with a drunken sailor? I don't drink. We'll get Sam going. Hold it. Now, Catnap's mission in life will be going out to get tin, bronze, getting up through the stages of leveling. Garrett, too. My big deal is to get these guys to the level 1 camps. Start getting my own cash flow down. Then joining up with others, being able to get those level 2 camps. And that's what it's all about this time around. Before, it was a lot of first-time user experience. Right now, it's just because I'm actually on Selene starting again. So, thank you very much for hanging out with me anytime you do. It is a thrill. Now, a lot of people, I used to say, don't watch my videos. Play Pax Dei. And I mean that. So, there's people who watch my videos while playing Pax Dei. And may the Lord bless them, because that's so cool. That's so cool. I won't bug you for too long. Just an hour each time, maybe longer. Garrett and I, you know. I have a lot to say. Not too radical. Very reasonable. Leave stuff behind for catnap. And me to be able to do some work. No, I have no place for flax seeds. Gotta make baskets, have catnap make baskets. We just made that problem a lot less of a problem. I filled up everything, haven't I? Oh, it's just a bummer. Epilogue. Tam and epilogue. So wild with catnap, I can actually get experience on wood arrows. They're registered as a easy, so I'll be able to make. Never mind. Wood arrows are actually trouble if you don't draw them all the way now. So I'm like, okay. Wood arrows used to be just very easy, just to go with wood arrows, without really seeing much issue. I had to just put everyone. You too. Well, alright. Yep. We gotta change this place around. We gotta reset the walls so they stand properly. Now that I got them the way I want them, I can change it completely. We need to build a fridge, but it's not immediate. I got plenty of things to do before I worry about that. Why let the grace plot wear away? Someone might take the property. Yeah, it might happen. Happens in real life too. So you can invest and hold everything for a long time, or you can get interested and, you know, work on that grace, which at least takes care of one plot. Anybody else, the heavy hitter came online. Make sure you check out chat. Make sure you look in there. Make sure you say hello. You know, make sure, I mean, I'm telling you, you ask what's up. You know, it tells you came on. It never tells you anybody leaves. Anybody need leather and stuff like that. I already said I said hi a while ago as cat app. It's kind of, you know, getting off Garrett and just being, oh, no, hi me. Anyway, Garrett, it's been real. It's been fun. Has it been real fun? Will you build a big fortress? I think that's a 2-plotter. Maybe a 3. Maybe it's just a 2. I'll have to look at it. Well, I can look at it right now. No, I can't. I'll find out later. But you can see. Look at those. Land and reserve. Right? They used to have more up there. But not down on the shoreline. Holding it until sun moves. Up the flashing begins. Yes. It's evening. No, it's morning. It's morning. The flashing. Over on the other side, we had some sun shining through the bottom of the mountains. That's just got to be great. I'm sure Mainframe loves that. All right, Garrett, Flash. For those with sensitivity to that, I pray it's not more than irritating. All right, guys. May the Lord bless you, and Lord bless you. Keep your sticks on the ice. See you tomorrow. And broadcast. Yes.